What's going on, guys? I have just finished the season finale for Ahsoka, and wow, I'll get more into it when I rank it, but we're going to do a tier list ranking here of every single Star Wars TV show and movie that is canon. So that does not include stuff like Star Wars Visions, the 2003 Clone Wars, all of that. This is only canon, and I'm extremely excited to do this list. I've been waiting to do this list for so long. I wanted to wait until Ahsoka finished, and it is done. And now let's see what I have to say about all of these. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, guys. First up, I don't know if I should have included this or not. I did some research and I think it's canon. I don't know. But Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, let's just get this out of the way. That's straight in the F tier. I mean, dude, this is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Like in Star Wars, it's, yeah, there's nothing really to say about this one. But let's get into the real stuff. Let's go. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Man, this is one that goes up every single time I watch it. It's a very, I think this is the most slept on movie in the franchise. I'm putting this in B tier, guys. I say what you want about it. I know there's some silly stuff in it, dialogue, Jar Jar being CGI, whatever, but I don't hold that stuff past a story. I look at the story and the characters, and I love it here. I love you got young Anakin introduced into here. I love the whole pod racing scene's amazing. One of the best scenes in the franchise. It's awesome. Qui-Gon Jinn, amazing character. And Darth Maul, not to mention, introduced one of the most iconic Star Wars characters of all time. One of my favorites as well. And, the story's great. I like it. People don't like all the politics stuff. I personally like it. I'm really into that stuff. So I love this movie a lot. Therefore, B tier. It's not, great by any means, but it's a good movie. It's a good Star Wars movie. I'm sticking that right in B tier. Next up, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. This is a very diverse crowd here for this movie. This is going in C tier. I love this movie. I'm a fan of this movie. I know this movie has a lot of haters and a lot of fans. I'm a fan of it, but it's not great, but I love it for what it is. Yeah, we got some cheesy dialogue, this and that. CGI is a little rough, but I mean, it's the early 2000s CGI. It's fitting for the time. The CGI back then was not great. The dialogue, yeah, could be better, but at the same time, even look at the original trilogy, even some of the dialogue in there is corny and cheesy. That's just Star Wars, man. That's just Star Wars, and I'm here for it. And this movie does a lot that I love. I mean, Jango Fett, a great character. Really wish we could have seen more of him, though. But, I mean, the father of Boba, the clone donor. This is really the prelude to the Clone Wars. I mean, this movie is the beginning of the Clone Wars. I love that the Battle of Geonosis was awesome, insane. Awesome seeing the clones there. All of those Jedi just duking it out with all the battle droids, and it's awesome. Count Dooku introduced in this movie, who is one of my favorite characters as of recently. I was never a big fan of him growing up, but the more content we've gotten with the Clone Wars and Tales of the Jedi, I love him. He's amazing. Then we get to see Yoda in action, duking it out with Count Dooku, no pun intended. But Yoda doing the leap of faith all around, jumping around. Dude, it's fun. A lot of people hate that. I love it. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's awesome. I love seeing Yoda kick ass. And this movie's good, man. This movie's good. And I actually don't mind the love story arc with Anakin and Padme. I think, it does a good enough job at, setting up the relationship. I mean, people don't like that. Like, what did you want? You just wanted Anakin to just bang this random chick and have Luke and Leia? Like, you got to establish a connection there. Between that, like, that's the mother of Luke and Leia. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Movie gets a lot of hate. I love it. C tier. Next up, the Clone Wars movie. I'm really deciding here between D and F. I'm going to put D. I don't want to be... See, F tier, is like bottom of the bottom. Like, I cannot stand this. D tier is bad, really bad, but still there's some things to enjoy. And here with the Clone Wars movie, we got introduced to Ahsoka, which is now one of the most popular Star Wars characters. There's nothing much to really say about this. It's just really a kickoff to the Clone Wars show, which we're going to get into right now. No hesitation, S tier. I mean, come on, this is definitely a top 3 Star Wars project of all time, in my opinion. And I believe I only have 3 projects in S tier. No, we'll see. No spoilers. But this is like a top 3 for me. So many good arcs, so many good characters. You know, you got the son, the daughter, the father, you got the arc on Mortis, you got the Order 66 arc where Fives figures out about the inhibitor chips. That arc was awesome. You get the Ahsoka arc, you know, with her trial at the Jedi Temple. Amazing. Dude, I could go on and on and on, dude. The first few seasons were rough, but once it gets into season 4, I'd really say, is when it starts getting like heat, getting fire. Darth Maul, not to mention his arc in here. Oh, so good. You get all these new characters. Asajj, who was in the original Clone Wars in 2003, but bringing her back, she was great in this. Savage, you know, he's just kind of like the muscle, the Darth Maul type of guy, but he's awesome. I love him. Just so many characters. All of the clones, man. The clones. Oh, 99, man. R.I.P. Beautiful. But man, this show, and not to mention season 7, the ending, that final 4-episode arc, some of the greatest content I've ever seen in my life, not just Star Wars. That was absolutely insane. Darth Maul tearing through all of those clones, ripping down the hyperdrives, whatever it's called, with his bare hands with the Force. Dude, oh my God, that scene, unreal. And then the betrayal on Ahsoka fighting off the clones, saving Rex, and then the whole ending to it with them doing the whole funeral type of thing with the clones, with all the helmets, then ending with Vader coming in, picking up Ahsoka's lights. Oh my God, dude, I could go on and on, man. Amazing. S tier, no doubt. Next up, Revenge of the Sith. That's another no-brainer for me. S tier. This has always been my favorite Star Wars movie, Star Wars anything, all the time. This was the first Star Wars movie I ever seen in theaters. I believe I was like 3 years old when I went to go see it. I really don't remember it, but I do. All I remember from seeing it is the Mustafar scenes. I just remember the imprint of lava in my eyes. Like, that's all I remember. But this movie, oh my God, like, it's perfect. It's perfect. A lot of people still have flaws with this movie, and it's mainly the original trilogy fans that still have flaws with this movie and don't hold it as high as us prequel fans do. I mean, it's understandable. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone likes the prequels, but this is top to bottom perfect in every sort of way. The turn of Anakin. Oh, Nightfall Anakin, man. So insane. Order 66. The whole Mustafar sequence. Just everything, man. This movie is perfect. I just love the dark tone. I love dark tone movies and shows way more than the lighter, funny, happy tone. The serious tones, it's unreal, man. But man, the most emotional scene in this movie for me is after Obi-Wan cuts off Anakin's limbs, he's burning, and that whole "you are my brother" Anakin scene, that gets me every time. It makes me tear up, man. This movie, man, is perfect. I could go on and on about this movie. I'm going to try not to spend too much time with all of these, but easy S tier. Next up, I got Tales of the Jedi. Now, I didn't know where to put this in timeline order because it's kind of scattered throughout the episodes. I'll just put it here. I loved this show. I'm going to put it at a B, though, just because it's only 6 episodes. And, you know, we didn't get a whole lot. Season 2 coming out. I'm so excited for that. Hoping to see some great arcs in there. But this show is amazing. The whole Count Dooku arc is top tier. It really made me fall in love with the character. It really made me love Count Dooku. Seeing young Qui-Gon in there is awesome. And the Ahsoka episodes were good too, don't get me wrong, but Count Dooku's episodes is really what carried this show this season, and it's a good B tier. Next up, I have The Bad Batch. I'm deciding between B and C. I'm going to land on C, though. They have some great stuff in here. I love the characters. Crosshair has become one of my favorite characters as well. He's great. Cad Bane, who's my favorite bounty hunter of all time, making an appearance in here. It's a good show. The only thing that holds it down a little bit, why I bumped it to C tier, there's way too many filler episodes that I just get bored with, just don't enjoy as much. And sometimes some of these characters come off as very annoying to me, but it's still a really good show. I could look past all those problems. It's a fun, good show. And season 2 with the ending cliffhanger, dude, that was great. That was insane. I'm excited to see how season 3 picks up from the ending of season 2. Next up, Solo: A Star Wars Story. I'm going to put this in D tier, but don't take that too hard. This is a fun movie. It's an alright movie. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just alright. It's enjoyable. It's just there. And I'm sure that everybody I see that talks about this movie says the same exact thing. I mean, it's not a necessary movie. It's just there. It's all right. I actually really do like Donald Glover's performance as Lando. I thought that was the highlight of the movie, in my opinion. It was cool seeing how Han met Chewbacca and how Han got the Millennium Falcon. But that's stuff we didn't really need to make a whole movie about. Maybe if you made like a Bad Batch episode like that or something like that, you know. But then the Darth Maul cameo at the end was awesome. I really wish we could see more of that. More Darth Maul in live action. Please give it to us. Next up, Kenobi. Man, this one breaks my heart. This one hurts. This is the hardest one on the list for me because I've really tried to really like this show because I mean you got the return of Hayden and Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan and Vader coming back, the rematch, all these years in the making. Been looking forward to this for so long. And my original watch, I really, really tried to convince myself to love it. Try to tell myself I love it. And I'm lying to myself. Then after time, man, this show's horrible, bro. This show is horrible. And I'm gonna put it in C tier though. I almost wanted to put it in D tier. The only reason why I put it up to C is there are some really good scenes and moments in the show. Everything with Vader. Every single scene Vader is in is a scene stealer. Pretty much all my favorite moments of the show has to do with Vader. I mean, you got that scene from episode 3 where he's walking through the village just brutally killing and dragging and torturing these people. That was insane. That was like a horror movie scene. He snaps that kid's neck. I'm like, dude, what? That was awesome, dude. Then the scene where he walks in and he stops that ship with the Force, just like it's absolutely nothing, and just tears it apart. That's already an iconic scene. And then you get the flashback with Obi-Wan and Anakin, which is so cool seeing them again, especially Attack of the Clones version of Anakin, because we really haven't seen that much of that version of Anakin, besides Attack of the Clones. Darth Vader just absolutely stomping on Reva made me happy because I hate that character. Nothing against the actress, but it's just the character itself. I didn't like it at all. Horrible. Then the final fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, I loved it. Yeah, the choreography could have been better, but same thing could have been said about all of these Disney shows and movies. They obviously don't have Nick Gillard, who was the GOAT with the choreography, and what Disney has done is not held up to those prequel fights, but it's still an emotional sequence. That's the first time in the show I felt like I was watching Obi-Wan and Vader. You know what I mean? The line where Obi-Wan, I will do what I must. That had me in. I was like, dude, let's go. And then the final scene where he cuts his helmet half open and you get that moment between Obi-Wan and Anakin again, face to face. Awesome. Made me tear up. That was an awesome sequence. I actually really did like young Leia in the show. Wish we got more of young Luke. Not to mention the cameo of Qui-Gon at the end was awesome. So there are some good things in the show that I enjoy. But as a whole, the show is bad. It is bad, and I really hate to say it. But those good moments are good enough for me to put it in a C tier. Next up, Andor. This is a very divisive show. You got the lovers and the haters of this show. The people who love it hold it high like it's a top tier, S tier Star Wars project. The haters will put it down at the bottom. I'm a hater on the show, but I don't know if I want to put it at D or F. I'll put it at D. I have never had such a hard time getting through a Star Wars movie or show. I have never struggled so much to make it through. I'm telling you, this show took me 6 months to finish. I would watch an episode and turn it off halfway through because how incredibly bored I was. Bored with this series. And I just couldn't push myself to finish it. It took me like 6 months to finally get through it. And it was like hell to get through for me. It was very boring. But I do appreciate what it was trying to do, which direction it was taking. I like the darker, serious tone. So, like, I'm not saying it's a bad show. It's just not for me. It's just not my taste, not my type. I just got really, really bored with this show, and it was really hard for me to get through. But I'm going to put it at D. I don't think it's absolutely F tier when it comes to storytelling and all of that, so I'll put it at D. Next up, Star Wars Rebels. We have our first A tier here. I absolutely love this show. I love the characters. I love the stories. I love the action. Everything about the show is awesome, dude. Chopper's my favorite droid of all time. Sorry, R2. Chopper's up there. Ezra, one of my favorite characters. Kanan, what a great master. What a great Jedi. He's such a great character. I love the whole Rebels crew. I love the dynamic between Zeb and Ezra. Even Agent Callus. Callus and Zeb have a great, arc there. And all of these characters, man, are great. Not to mention the season 2 finale with Maul and the Inquisitors and Ahsoka versus Vader finally coming face to face to fight. It's such an emotional, powerful moment. And Thrawn brought back in the canon for this show. Amazing. And it was perfect. I absolutely love the show. I don't think it's quite S tier. There's a lot of episodes that are just fillers, kind of like fun episodes, but like nothing that's like crazy. But the good episodes are amazing. And that's why I've been A tier. I love this show, man. Next up, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. This is going B tier for me. A lot of people actually say this is like the best Star Wars movie of all time. Not everybody, but a lot of people put this like S tier. I'm not there. I think it's a good movie. But I think it's just good. I don't think it's great. It's not bad at all. It's good. I've never been able to get invested into these characters. I think the performances were great. I just didn't care for these characters, man. Like, the only thing that got me going with this movie was the Vader scene, which is top 3 Star Wars scene of all time. I remember in theaters seeing that, dude. I was shitting myself. That was awesome. But, I mean, it's cool to see how it all ties together into The New Hope. It's all right. It's a decent movie. It's good. It's just not my movie. Brings us into the one that started it all, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope. That's A tier for me. I want to put it at S tier, but I don't think it's quite S tier. Yeah, it's the original. It started it all. It's a great movie. Not bad by any means at all. I just don't think it's top tier. It's an absolute great beginning. Brings us into this iconic world with all these iconic characters. And you got Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia, Ben Kenobi, Darth Vader. It's a great movie. Absolutely amazing. Just not quite S tier for me. Next up, The Empire Strikes Back. This is S tier. I've never been as high on Empire as everybody else is. But it's an awesome movie. All of the good stuff in here is top tier Star Wars. I mean, Luke training with Yoda on Dagobah. The whole Darth Vader versus Luke sequence on Bespin. Introduces us to Lando, Boba Fett. Just all the good scenes in this movie, they're not just good scenes, they're top tier scenes. And the story is top tier. I just don't think I have the nostalgia for this movie like a lot of people do, because I was born in 2001, so I grew up with the prequels, so I never really grew up with a huge attachment to the originals. I still watched them when I was a kid, and I still loved them, but I was attached to the prequels, so that's why I think I'm not as super, super high on Empire. Like, if I were to rank the movies themselves, I'd probably put it at 2, I'd probably put it at 2, maybe 3. I don't know, but it's still an amazing movie. Don't get me wrong. Coming up next, what should have been the last movie of the saga, stupid sequels, but Return of the Jedi. I'm putting this, this is tough. I'm putting this in S tier. This is my favorite movie out of the original trilogy. I know this is most people's least favorite. out of the original trilogy. This is the one I had the most nostalgia for. I loved everything. The whole Vader and Luke bringing him back to the light, redeeming him. That whole arc, just absolutely amazing. Going onto the Death Star, the Emperor finally in the flesh for the first time, besides the hologram and Empire. But it's awesome, dude. This movie, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I know people don't like the Ewoks and Jedi rocks and stuff. I think it's fun. I enjoy it. I love it. And Boba Fett's death is, well, not death. He didn't die now, but his at the time death was hilarious. It was just hilarious. It's like you can't even take that seriously. It's kind of embarrassing, but I can look past that. I love this movie so much, man. I love it so much. Playing the Lego Star Wars, the complete saga as a kid too, this was always my favorite to go through, was the Return of the Jedi levels. Those were so much fun. And I just have a lot of nostalgia for this. I would probably put this above Empire, just based off of pure nostalgia. I love it. Coming up next, The Mandalorian. I'm putting this in A. I would have had this in S tier if season 3 stuck the landing, man. The first 2 seasons were so good. The first season had a few episodes that were like, eh. But as a whole, the first season was great. I loved it. Season 2, absolutely insane. That's like top tier Star Wars right there. Then season 3, I was so excited for it. And it was just not good. Not good. There were some good moments in it. But just as a whole, man, the whole season just felt like filler. Just to get to the very, very end, the last 2 episodes with Gideon, which I don't like that they brought him back. I don't like how they brought him back. And then they tried doing this thing where he's making all these clones of himself just so he could die and all of his clones get destroyed immediately after. It was just so anticlimactic, and it really, really disappointed me a lot. So just because of season 3, I have to bump it down to A tier. Coming up next, the Book of Boba Fett. This is another D tier for me, man. Same thing I'll say about this is what I said about Kenobi. There's some good moments in this show that are just good enough to put it in D tier instead of F tier. Like I said, Cad Bane is my favorite bounty hunter of all time, one of my favorite characters of all Star Wars. So seeing him in live action was unreal. Like, I was freaking out. Like, I literally started crying when I seen him. That's how much I love Cad Bane. Yeah, they did his character a little dirty, but the portrayal was still awesome. It was still amazing seeing him. All of the Mandalorian stuff was awesome. And then the whole Luke Skywalker stuff, training Grogu, Ahsoka showing up, that stuff was all awesome. I didn't mind the finale. It was all right, but everything I loved about the show had nothing to do with Boba Fett. It was a disgrace to the character. They ruined Boba. And I'm just really hoping that they bring this character back either in Mando Season 4 or the Dave Filoni movie at some point, somewhere, and do him justice, redeem him a little bit. And we'll see, man. But it's a bad show. This is near unwatchable for me. Like, I could only watch the Mandalorian and Luke episodes and stuff, which is crazy to say this is a Boba Fett show, but this show is so unwatchable for me. Yeah, D tier. Next up, oh my god, guys, the new kid on the block, Ahsoka, dude. That's S tier, bro. That's S tier. Yes. Yes. Yes, this is what I've been waiting for, bro. I've been waiting to talk about this when I just finished the finale. Oh my god, guys, Star Wars is back. Now, first thing I'm just going to say, I know there's a lot of people who are not as high on the show as I am. There's people who are on my level who are like, this is S tier, this is top tier Star Wars. There's people who are like, it's all right, it's good, it's all right. Then there's people that are like, yeah, this is boring, it sucks, whatever, and just hate on it. This is S tier Star Wars to me. This is like, I would have this in competition with Revenge of the Sith in the Clone Wars for #1 content of all Star Wars. I can't believe it, guys. I really can't. I can't believe we just got what we got. Like, perfect. It was perfect. Like, I was expecting the show to be good. I had high hopes for it. But for it to be this good, and they actually pulled it off, man. Dave Filoni, the GOAT. Like, I'm in shock right now. The finale blew me away. It was so beautiful. I knew it was going to end on a cliffhanger like that. And man, it's everything about this show, dude. I love this first few episodes. They're fun, good setup episodes. Once you get to 4, it's really like, whoa, this is insane. This is awesome. You get that fight with Ahsoka and Balin in episode 4 was amazing, dude. And then her going into the world between worlds, and at the end you get Anakin in there, dude. I was like, no way. Then episode 5 was the highlight of this entire show. Top tier, absolute top tier Star Wars. The whole sequence, Anakin and Ahsoka fighting, the Clone Wars flashbacks, bro. Anakin in his Clone Wars armor, young Ahsoka, Rex, all the clones. Darth Maul's Mandalorians were in there. You had the Siege of Mandalore on there, dude. I was absolutely mind blown. That Nightfall Anakin, Nightfall Vader, whatever you want to call it. Nightfall Vader, dude. Oh my God. Seeing him turn around with those yellow eyes, the red lightsaber going ham. Oh, dude. Anakin's performance there, Hayden Christensen's performance, way better than, which I think his performance in the prequels are perfect. I love him, perfect. But his performance in this was on a whole different level, man. A whole different level. Like, I was extremely impressed. The transitions between Anakin and Vader, dude, oh my God, so awesome. Then Ahsoka becoming Ahsoka the White. I actually really do like the portrayal of Hera on the show. A lot of people don't like it. I'm sold on it. I love it. And Sabine, I want to talk about Sabine real quick. A lot of people don't like that she's a Jedi now and stuff. I wasn't there for it at first, but by the end of the season, I'm on board with it. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, I wish she wasn't a Jedi, but it doesn't bother me. I'm fine with it. Bringing our boy Ezra back. I love Ezra, bro. He made the replica of Kanan's lightsaber, dude. That was sick. What was it, the emitter that he got? I forget. I have to rewatch it, but oh my God, man. Ezra is so badass. I love Ezra. Ahsoka is so good. Rosario Dawson's portrayal, her performance in this was amazing. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, screw all the hate. She was amazing. We got our boy Thrawn back, and he is just as good as he ever was. He's Thrawn. He is Thrawn. He's amazing. And the whole dude, Balin was the greatest character in the show. He was the best character in the show. R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. It's so unfortunate that he passed away, and I don't know what's going to happen with this character, but the way they left it off with the Mortis gods, the statues there of the father and the son, and I love how the daughter wasn't there. Her statue was destroyed because she still lives on in Ahsoka. We finally saw Morai, the owl there, and oh my God, there's so much. I loved the final fight with Morgan and Ahsoka was awesome. I know might just be a little nitpick, but when one of Ahsoka's lightsabers got cut in half, I was upset, dude. I was like sad. Like it felt like a piece of Ahsoka was just like killed. Like it's not a big deal. It's just a lightsaber. She has 2 lightsabers, now she has 1. That's how she started in the Clone Wars originally. But it's just like, dude, like I feel like Ahsoka's so iconic for the 2 lightsabers. I was like, damn, I feel like we just lost a piece of her. But I don't care about that. That fight was awesome, though. That fight was sick. And just the way it ends with Thrawn escaping, getting away, leaving Ahsoka behind. Oh, the dialogue between Ahsoka and Thrawn, or Thrawn talking to Ahsoka through the comms. Oh, so good, dude. So good. So much I could talk about with this show, man. It's top tier Star Wars, man. Seeing Ezra go back and have that reunion real quick with Hera and Chopper is so good. Want to see more of that reunion, though. Where's Zeb? Got to see him. But, dude, this top tier. It's top tier. This might be... I have to give it time. I may put this number 1 on my list all time. It's that good. Enough ranting about Ahsoka now. Star Wars Resistance. This is going to be an easy, quick one. F. Show sucks. Simple as that. We'll leave it at that. Now we're on the sequel trilogy. Force Awakens. I'm going to put this actually in C tier. When this movie first came out, I actually really liked it. I was really invested in these characters. The story, yeah, it was kind of a rehash of A New Hope, but it worked. I think that it was okay to bring Star Wars back after all these years and kind of do something we're all familiar with and make it like A New Hope. I liked it. I was so invested in these characters and story and all of the crazy theories and everything about all of the characters. Oh, dude, the hype was real. The hype was real. This originally, before 8 and 9 came out, would probably be an A or B tier for me. But I had to bump it down to C just because of how bad these last two movies just dragged this one down. The Last Jedi, F. Man, I've never been... Like, I went to the theaters to watch this, and after the movie, I was, like, completely, like, mind blown. In a bad way. Like, I couldn't believe what I just watched. Like, I couldn't believe that just happened. I couldn't believe how bad that was and how disrespectful that was to the franchise. And it, like, actually hurt my head. Like, I couldn't even think for, like, days, dude. I was... It's like the same thing with Kenobi, too. I tried to force myself to like this, and I just couldn't, man. I think this is the most unwatchable Star Wars movie out of the movies. It's so hard to get through this one, too. The Rise of Skywalker I'm going to get into as well. Easily F tier, no doubt. But I think this one's a little more watchable than The Last Jedi. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Disgrace to everything of Star Wars. Why do you bring Palpatine back? Somehow he returned? Really? And just to do him dirty, ruin the whole arc of Vader and Anakin. And The Rise of Skywalker, Luke's in it for like 2 minutes. Anakin's not even in it. Where are the Skywalkers? Leia dies. I mean, R.I.P. to Carrie Fisher. Not much they could have done with her. But, like, Ben Solo, he's the only blood Skywalker there. I mean, I get, like, Rey Skywalker. She's the rise. She's rising. She's the Skywalker. No, she's not a Skywalker. She's Palpatine, dude. Why? What were you... I don't know. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. But it's so bad that it's a little bit entertaining of just how bad it is. But it's easy F tier, man. Made it through, guys. If you stuck with me through this whole tier list, thank you so much, guys. I'm really trying to grow my channel here. I'm so passionate about Star Wars. It's my favorite thing of all time. So if you guys could really show some support, like, comment, subscribe, it would mean the absolute world to me. And I'm about to come out with another video here soon, an unboxing video. And I'll be doing some giveaways too, because I think it's only fair if you guys support me that I should support you. So if you guys like the content I'm making, want to see more, I'm really trying to do some upgrades with electronics and all my equipment and stuff and just get better. And I mean, I'm just really trying to get up there, guys. So I really appreciate any support possible. And please drop a like, comment, subscribe. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, guys. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on all of these Star Wars movies and shows and where you would have ranked them. And also let me know what you thought of Ahsoka. And may the Force be with you guys.